Welcome back to another episode of Getting Personal. I'm here today with Giacomo, co-founder and CEO at Sirio Finance. It's really great to have you, man. How are you doing today?
Yeah, let's say that these are hot days in terms of work, in terms of temperature, and let's say that I am a bit stressed, but extremely satisfied for the work that we are doing with Sirio Finance. So that's how things are going. What about you?
Nice. Yeah, I'm excited I'm always excited to delve into these conversations, get to know you a little bit more and what you've been working on, right? So hard with Sirio. Before we talk about Sirio, I'd love to hear from you as a founder and builder in the space, specifically Hedera. What's your sentiment as we sit here today? How are you feeling about Web3, about DeFi, and everything that surrounds you as you build out Sirio?
Yeah. First of all, let's start saying that few years ago, I was like blockchain agnostic. I didn't have any preferred project, but almost 2 years ago, I'm a programmer as well. And almost 2 years ago, I was playing around with some Python APIs of some projects. And I started to enjoy and to play with Hedera code snippets and Hedera Python APIs. And once I realized the performance and the potential user experience that we might gain from the Hedera performance and Hedera technology, I noticed that there is like a technology that doesn't have any competitor, and above all, still had some improvements in terms of DeFi ecosystem. So I noticed this. I noticed basically this lack in the market, and me with my team in 1 second we was thinking, so let's build this DeFi protocol on Hedera, and here we go.
And you mentioned the technology of Hedera, right, being superior in some ways or many ways when it comes to building the platform that you are. Before we talk about the platform itself, what is it about Hedera, the technology, that made you choose Hedera? What is so good about the technology for what you're building?
Yeah, first of all, I would say that the most important feature of Hedera is like it's good deal. It's fair in terms of decentralization and performance. In terms of performance, I have never seen any other chain that can be faster than Hedera. We built on multiple chain. We built on Arbitrum. We built on Polygon, but we have never experienced something like Hedera. And I think that the best experience from Hedera, I like saying that the best experience from Hedera you can ever get is with native wallets such as Kabila, where you get instantly transactions. If you check out our testnet, you will be able to notice by yourself that when you submit a transaction, you immediately get its execution. And this is nothing that you can ever get on any other ecosystem.
And this is what we need, right, for adoption. Like that's how it works in the real world. When you, I don't know, pay with your card, it's instant, right? We need this kind of technology if we want people to start using it, right?
Yeah, I think that this is like high performance are the first gate that you have to go over in order to increase the real world adoption. And I think that Hedera perfectly fit this need. Plus, I think that this may be a really good opportunity for DeFi builders as well. The real world assets tokenization that that it's happening on Hedera. Because, for example, we told with our community, and they would be more than amazed if we, for example, could allow us collateral the tokenized assets on Sirio. So this is might be like a hot topic of the next year roadmap.
Interesting. Let's talk about Sirio Finance. For those maybe hearing about Sirio for the first time, what is Sirio Finance and what have you set out to build on Hedera?
Yeah, surely. Let's start saying that Sirio Finance is a lending and borrowing protocol where anyone can supply and borrow assets in anonymous and permissionless and no custodial way. But what we are trying to do is basically to bring a revolution into the DeFi ecosystem, driven mainly by two topics. The first one is using and implementing AI, and the second one is using a data-driven approach. And this can be ever possible thanks to Hedera technology, because, as I mentioned before, we would be able to guarantee the best user experience ever. And I would just say that we are using AI in order to decrease and manage the risks associated to your loan. And we are using a data-driven approach in order to give more transparency to our protocol, to its liquidity, its cash flow, their borrows. So let's say that these are the hot topics of Sirio, AI and data-driven approach.
And as a user, if I was to go to Sirio with the AI integration, how do I experience that? You talk about reducing risk. It's risk management and decreasing liquidation, right? What does the experience look like for me as a user? How do I interact with the AI?
Yeah, let's say that in terms of user and above all in terms of user experience, you are able to supply and borrow on Sirio as in the fastest way possible. And in terms of AI, the output of our model is really simple. Basically, one moment before you submit the transaction with your wallet, a pop-up will appear, and it will basically estimate and the risk associated to your loan. And on the other side, it will basically suggest some strategies that will allow you to decrease this risk. And it is totally permissionless and arbitrary. So let's say that this AI will bring benefits for users, but it won't condition anything related to your experience on Sirio.
Nice. So it's gonna be my assistant in a way, right?
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. Nice. And like we wanted to extend this AI implementation, this AI support to other lending protocols inside and outside the Hedera ecosystem. And in this way, we may be able to offer this model as a B2B service to other protocols, and it would increase exponentially the further potential partnership with other big protocols. So, it may be impactful for the entire community if we were able, for example, to provide our model to protocols that are capitalized billions and billions of dollars and bring new attention and users and visibility to their ecosystem.
That's amazing. Yeah. You mentioned community there. I read a tweet or a post on X from you guys where you talked about Sirio being community driven. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? How is that the case? How does the community get involved with Sirio, and how does that impact Sirio's development?
In few words, I will say you that basically community is building the application. In long words, I would say that basically we are renouncing to go faster on mainnet in order to interact with as many users as possible and get their support, get them involved, and hear their feedbacks in order to build the best available platform ever in terms of user experience, in terms of user interface. So basically, we gradually built our platform. Back to around 1 month ago, we started our closed testnet version where we picked up some early supporters that joined our group of closed testers. They helped us to redesign the user interface. They helped us to improve the user experience. Then once we built well-working product for the public testnet, we basically released the testnet, the first public testnet version. We keep gathering feedbacks from users, and here we go. Basically, as we mentioned in the tweet, we upgraded the platform with a more intuitive approval and repay functions. Also, we fixed a small bug where sometimes users weren't able to connect with their wallet to Sirio. On the other side, we are working really hard to improve the logic of the liquidation after we spoke with some closed users in the testnet. And we are also working to improve the health factor progress bar, where we are trying to make it more interactive on one side and clearer on the other one. So let's say that community is really the core of this project because we are hearing their feedbacks. We keep gathering their feedbacks, and above all, anyone can still join our Discord, can promote his tests on Sirio, and can get his whitelist spot and label on our Discord.
Nice. It's always really cool to see a project like yours really embrace community, and I think that's the real power of Web3, right? That you have that intimacy with your community. And how many of you on the team?
Yeah, at the moment we are 8 members in the team, where we are like 6 developers. And with a really strong background. I would say one of them, our senior front-end developer, is one of Saucer's co-founders, for example. And we are also data scientists in the team, as myself and Federico, that is another teammate. And we are two team members that are more focused on the marketing side. You surely know one of them is Perfectability and is a true Hedera OG. So a big shout out to Perfectability.
Yeah, so that's 8 plus maybe 100 or multiple hundreds of community members, and that really together is what Web3 is all about, right? You have that feedback loop consistently back and forth between the team and the community to continue building out the product. It's really, really cool.
Yeah. And then we have some junior blockchain developer that we are trying to involve in the project, because we also have a sort of work ethics where we also want to try to give our support to junior developer to increase their CV, their CV, to increase their experience and give them new opportunity and more visibility. Soon we will update our website with all the core team member, and hopefully we will list any team member inside.
Nice. I'd love to talk a little bit about you and your backstory before Sirio Finance, maybe even before Web3. What's been your journey and what has shaped you to become the co-founder and CEO of Sirio that you are today? What's led you to this point?
Yeah, let's say that my story in IT and technology is a really long story because at the moment I'm 24, and back to when I was 16, I basically was interested in anything related to programming languages, IT technologies, and stuffs like that. So I imposed myself to become a good programmer. So I joined the path of Python programming language, and back to around 2018, I started to be involved with AI and data science. I started to build the first bots for Facebook, if I'm not wrong. I started to manipulate for the first time some data to use libraries such as pandas, such as NumPy. And in 1 year, I became really confident with technologies such as machine learning, libraries such as scikit-learn, Keras. I won't go too much too much deep into technical stuff, but let's say that before blockchain, I was really involved in AI technology. Then back to 2020 with the last bull run that we had, I started passionate about blockchain, and I started to notice that there was a share of the market that blockchain could take. It is a really good alternative and a really more fair alternative to any other centralized technology. So I started to play around with some Python APIs that are basically built for programmers like me, until I noticed, as I mentioned before, the Hedera GitHub repository called Hedera Code Snippets. And if you all want to check out, we are like one of the main contributors of that repository. So let's say that our journey with Hedera started a way long before than our project Sirio.
Nice. It's been a long time in the making. It sounds like it's been even many years before you came to Hedera. It's been a build up, right? Of accumulation of skills and interests, and then arriving on Hedera and seeing the opportunity. And now we're here today.
Yeah,
What about
sorry, go straight.
No, go ahead, please. No, please go ahead, yeah.
Oh, all right. Yeah, let's say that what I think that aside, regardless of Hedera performance, another thing that was really good for Hedera is like its community, because for the first time we didn't find only the gens like any other chain, but we found really good and involved guys that gave a really strong and big contribution to the development of Sirio.
Nice. I'm sure something the community would love to hear about is whether there will be a token, an NFT collection. Would you like to talk about any of that, and what does that look like for Sirio?
Yeah. Let's say that first of all, our main focus is to build. At the moment, our main focus is to build the best platform ever with the best lending and borrowing experience ever. with AI implementation. And first of all, before any token sale or any other fundraising, we will announce some great and exciting partnership with projects that are outside the Hedera ecosystem, that have a really good capitalization, that have a really good user base, and we will use their technology and we will become their partner, mainly to increase the visibility of Sirio, increase the visibility of Hedera ecosystem, and bring it where it deserves. Once we have enough strong partners, and once we are enough good in terms of AI decentralization, because these partners will help us to decentralize our AI, we will focus on an INO. And the cool thing about our INO is that we want to create a simple and standard NFT collection, but we will work on a PFP collection, where anyone will have his Sirio avatar, his unique Sirio avatar, and will have not just a specific allocation of our token once we release our token, but also it will have a lot of benefits on the platform in terms of discount fees. So let's say that our INO will be really exciting, will be community driven. We are also in touch with some decentralized autonomous organization to hear their opinion and their feedbacks about our tokenomics, about the go-to-market strategy. So let's say that the keyword is community-driven and community-driven, as always.
Nice. I think the contrast of a PFP collection and an INO is a really cool idea. Normally an INO is either identical NFTs or maybe a few different tiers, but to have an actual PFP collection tied to an INO, I think that's really cool. So looking forward to that.
Thank you.
What would you say has been your biggest challenge so far with Sirio Finance?
Let's say that there were like 3 big challenges. The first one is in terms of community involvement. The other 2 are in more technical terms. The first one, in terms of community involvement, since we were not really familiar with Hedera ecosystem, and we launched our project from scratch, at the beginning it was kind of tricky to interact with community to reach our correct target, because you have to work really hard to build links with the community. You have to work really hard to increase the visibility of your project. And let's say that this is like the first hot topic. And the other 2 big challenges were in terms of development. The first of all is that Hedera is a really, as I mentioned before, as the best performance ever, but it has some differences in terms of development if you consider any other EVM chain, such as, I don't know, Polygon or Avax. So we had to adapt with these changes that Hedera development kit proposed. And on the other side, another big challenge was the decentralization of our AI, because basically there are a lot of process in the development of an AI model. You have to gather the data, you have to process the data, you have to store the data, you have to train our model, you have to run your model somewhere. So all this process need a specific technology provider that is aligned with the hardware requirements that you may look for. And on the other side, you have to keep anything decentralized. So you know that this can be a really hard challenge to let's say to, I don't know what is the correct translation, but yeah, you have to deal with this challenge.
Yeah, nice. And I want to go back to the first point you made about breaking into the community, right? If there's someone listening in and maybe they're starting now their project, what's been from your experience, what's helped you? What tips, if you had to give 2 or 3 tips to someone listening in when it
Oh
comes
yeah,
to building that initial community? Because it can be difficult, right? So if you had to name a few tips.
yeah. I mean that let's say that it's only a bit hard, can be a bit challenging and a bit hard and tricky to build trust in the community. I think that is also a common challenge for any other community. And on the other side, I would say to anyone that wonder to build on Hedera, to put community first. This is the only way to create to build that trust bridge with the community. And if you involve enough your community, if you work hard with your community, because this is like the most important assets of the project, it's community, then it will be much easier to bring visibility to your project. These are my tips.
That's great. Thanks. What do we have to look forward to this year? Like, if you had to mention a couple of things on the roadmap, or maybe your tentative date of going to mainnet 2024, what does it look like for Sirio Finance, and what do we have to look forward to?
Yeah, I will talk about some hot topics that are related to Sirio Finance. The first one surely is our mainnet release, where we will allow users to lend and borrow for the first time many cool tokens that actually anyone can't borrow. And we will also propose a lot of educational contents on why and how borrow on Sirio, why and how borrow on Hedera, and why and how borrow any specific token. So this is like the first hot topic, mainnet release. The second one, I would say, is the release of our AI model that will be first available for USDC loans market, and we will propose this model step by step and little by little for all other markets. Then the third hot topic is like our INO. And the last topic is big partnership. And what I mean with big partnership, I mean great partners from, as I mentioned before, from outside the Hedera ecosystem. So our target is basically to bring visibility to Sirio, but not only to Sirio, also to the entire ecosystem.
2024 is a big year for Sirio Finance.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. 2024 is a big year, and just one thing. 2025 will be even bigger than this year, because we have a lot of big things, a lot of exciting stuff upcoming, and a lot of ideas that we want to bring to the table.
Sounds exciting. Is there anything we haven't touched on today that you'd like to talk about?
Oh yeah, just one thing. Maybe I mentioned briefly. Anyone can still gain a whitelist spot for our upcoming INO. Anything that you have to do is basically to join our Discord server, test Sirio Finance at the link that I will later share with all of you. then you just have to tag to mention Sirio Finance account in your X, and you have to share your feedback about the platform. Make sure that there are no bugs, and you will automatically gain an INO whitelist spot. Sorry.
There you go. Well, it's been
All
a
right.
real pleasure, Giacomo, getting to
It
talk
was
to
a
you
pleasure
and
for
learning
me.
more about Syria.
It was a pleasure for me as well, Jack. You are amazing.